Hey, Damien at Team Micro. I hope everyone's doing good today. I'm sat on the M1 in the UK heading south. Heading south to a meeting in Birmingham. I've got 3 hours to kill, so I thought I'd just post a quick video just to share some thoughts with you that I've had recently about some of the discussions I've had with some of our clients. You know, as marketers, there's a lot of focus on getting more website traffic, getting rankings, having a nice looking website, generating leads from Facebook, generating leads from Google Ads, and all the other different ways of attracting customers. But what we find, and this is certainly not limited to SMP, this applies to permanent makeup as well, is there's not so much emphasis on what happens after the inquiry has been generated, and it's really, really important. I mean, you spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money in many cases generating those inquiries, and there needs to be, in my opinion, certainly a lot of clinics need to really have a good hard look at what happens when that inquiry is generated, because what we see is a pattern. Okay, so we see the average client will get 2 or 3 quotations before they book, and what usually happens is that they don't get 3 quotations and then go away, think about it, and then pick one. They tend to pick their clinic more often than not just while they're there, while they're sat there, or while they're on the phone with the consultant. So think about what that means. So the client has been to maybe say the average client has had 3 quotations. So they've either had face-to-face consultations or phone calls or emails with 2 other clinics, and on the third attempt, on the third clinic, they make a decision there and then. So okay, fine, it's possible that the third clinic maybe offered a lower price or was more conveniently located, and I accept that, but I don't think that's the norm. Actually, what I think happens is that on that third clinic, they make some kind of connection or gut feeling decision that spurs them to make a booking, where the previous 2 clinics have failed to do that. And this is really important, because when you look around the business, that same message is echoed all the time. You know, I talk to people like Craig Bottomley High in St Albans in the south of the UK. I speak to him a lot, and he gets a lot of customers who, you know, they've maybe gone to 1 or 2 other clinics, they haven't booked, and they go and have a consultation with him, and they book on the spot. So what is it that creates? I mean, Craig wasn't their first port of call necessarily. It's just that they didn't get the right vibe, or didn't get what they wanted from the other 2. And you know, Craig is not the cheapest of clinics. He's one of the very best artists in the world, so he prices himself accordingly. So it's not that. So what is it? And I think the answer lies not in one particular thing, but in lots of small things that a clinic does to improve the customer experience from initial point of contact. So obviously in our job we call a lot of clinics because either they've bought products from us, or we have commercial agreements with them in some way, shape or form. So I can't help but notice the difference between our experience in contacting the clinic, and we're not even a customer. So you know, some clinics answer the phone differently. Some clinics don't answer the phone at all. You know, with a lot of single person owner operator type businesses, they're doing procedures, or they're not around all the time to answer the phone. But the problem that creates with customers is that, you know, if the next clinic does answer the phone quickly, or is prompt in returning phone calls, then you know that's automatically put them at an advantage. Another big one is emails and messages. So when a customer gets a quick, so say a customer sends an email or a Facebook message and says, hey, how much, or I want information, or whatever, the clinic that provides a good, honest, comprehensive and friendly response is much more likely to get the business than the customer that just answers with a one-line or a single paragraph reply. And you know, I get it. I mean, you know, clinics get a lot of messages. A lot of these customers are time wasters. I understand that, but the nature of the business is that you never know who's going to waste your time and who isn't. Some of these people are serious customers, and I think it's really easy for clinics to get into a habit of just skipping through their messages, skipping through their emails, without really putting time and thought into each individual one. And some of the bigger clinics have been really guilty of this, and it's cost them. There's no two ways about that. There are two big brands in the marketplace that I can think of who have fallen from a very, very great height because their service simply didn't back up their marketing. So there's that consideration. So it's how you answer the phone. If you answer the phone, how promptly you respond to messages, to emails, and have a think about the process itself. So so the customer books a consultation. They've made contact. They've booked a face-to-face consultation. So what happens between that initial contact and the customer coming in for a consultation? In the vast majority of cases, the answer to that is, well, nothing happens. We just wait for the customer to turn up. And the thing is, we have a really big problem in this business with customers not showing up for consultations. It happens all the time. Customers don't show up for treatments sometimes, even though they paid a deposit. So with consultations, it's a bigger problem. So we have to think about ways that we can tackle this, and it'll have a positive impact on conversion rates as well as having a positive impact on those shows. So what can you do between that time? Can we send customers text messages? And I don't just mean a text message saying, hey, thanks for your booking, we'll see you next Thursday, here's our address. I mean, I'm a member of a business networking group, and in the run-up to any event, I will get 5 or 6 messages, So the first one will be, hey, you're booked in, we'll see you there. And then the next one a few days later will be, hey, we're really looking forward to seeing you on the 15th. By the way, just thought I'd let you know that all these are some of the things that have happened, since we last spoke, and we'll discuss them with you when we see you. And then I'll get, the day before, hey, really looking forward to seeing you. If you just a reminder, this is where you need to go. If you have any questions, or if you can't make it, let us know. And all these things happen, and what happens is it greatly reduces the likelihood that I'm not going to show up, and it definitely increases the likelihood from a customer's point of view that they're going to make a booking in the context of SMP and permanent makeup. So that can be done by email. I would recommend doing it by text because it's just more responsive that way. Obviously, make sure you get the correct permissions. And then when the customer does turn up for their consultation, think about what happens during that process. So, a lot of clinics will have specific forms they need to get filled out, and that's fine. They may fill out those forms at that stage. Some clinics leave the paperwork until the day of their first session, which is also fine. But bearing in mind that the consultation is the best opportunity that you have to secure a booking. Sorry, I'm getting rid of this cough. Bear with me. So while the customer's sat in front of you, there is no better opportunity to secure that booking. So make the most of it. Think about what you can do to make that experience as professional and as informal and as welcoming as possible. It's not just about going through the motions and answering their questions. It's about building a relationship with them. It's about making them feel welcome and valued. And that isn't just going through a set process from A to B. That's about genuinely caring. You can't fake this shit, I mean, if you want the customer to feel valued, then you need to genuinely value them, and that means putting some work in. So for those clinics that have the facility to do it, maybe get some photographs in advance and have a reveal, like a mock-up, a Photoshop mock-up on the day that they arrive. maybe spend more time talking about the customer rather than the service that you offer. Find out what really makes them tick and why they're there, and how they're feeling and what their journey has been. And I know that most clinics do that anyway, but a lot of clinics, I've seen it, they'll skip through that stuff as an obligation in just waiting for the opportunity to get onto their sales pitch. So be mindful of that and try and spend more time with the customer as the focal point, and make sure that you close effectively. It's not selling, it's closing. They're two different things. So if the customer needs a bit of time to think about it, then that's fine. But make sure that you leave them with a call to action. So say, hey, look, we'll reach out to you in a couple of weeks and see how you're feeling. If you have any questions in the meantime, then give us a call. Don't just let them walk away. If the customer is ready to book, then don't just send them away and say, hey, just give us a call and we'll arrange some dates. There's a really useful technique called an alternative close, where you offer two options, both of which entail a booking. So and this works really, really well in permanent cosmetics and in SMP. So you could say, hey, look, we have 2 appointments free. We have next Tuesday at 1 p.m. We have next Thursday at 3 p.m. Are either of those convenient for you? That's an alternative close. You could go for a direct close, which is basically, shall we get you booked in then? That's more direct, although you will find that some customers are a little bit put back by that, and not everyone's comfortable doing that, and that's fine. Or you can go for a really gentle close, which would be something along the lines of, do you have any further questions that we can answer, or are you ready to make a booking? That's a very gentle close, and most people are comfortable with that. So get comfortable with closing. We're business owners, we're not salespeople, but businesses need to close deals. That's what we do. So this is just really some general thoughts about some of the things that we can do to improve the way that we do business. It is marketing, but it's not marketing in the traditional sense, but it matters. It's really, really important. If you guys have got any questions, anything that you want to add, any comments, if you agree with me, if you disagree, if you want to share your own experience, then please do so in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Speak soon. Bye bye.